Welcome to year 3 of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. Tangent is storming around the quad in front of engineering, checking notes on her holopalm, gesturing and grunting in frustration. This is the worst. What's the matter? I can't possibly, she says, her voice cracking. She seems too upset to even explain it. Professor Hal, she tries again. Hal, he was helping me with physics, this physics chapter, and now he's... She throws her hands in the air, virtual holopalm screens flying everywhere. I can't understand how I can do this without him. This is impossible. She chokes out. Why did he have to die? Tange doesn't seem like... Tange doesn't seem like much of a physical hugger. I miss him too. Tang nods angrily. He was a good teacher, she says. He didn't deserve to die. I wish I could have done something to save him. We both go quiet for a few seconds. Eventually, Tang sighs. Well, we can't count on the adults to protect us, that's for sure, she says. We'll have to do it ourselves. Dis is sitting in the grass near the big gates that lead out to the jungle. He's just staring out into nothingness and picking absentmindedly at the weeds. He pretends not to notice as you approach. Sit down with him. He shifts uncomfortably as you sit, but doesn't say anything. You both just hang out saying and doing nothing. You're starting to wonder if Dis will ever acknowledge you when he says, I've gotta go. As he starts down the hill, he pauses and says, this is a good spot. I'll probably come back here tomorrow. Tang shrugs. You should probably just keep it. I don't know what I'll do with that. When you insist she keeps it, she shrugs. Sure, maybe I'll find a use for it. Okay, so you don't like that. I found something you might like. Food. Cal grabs the fruit out of your hand, then remembers his manners. He gives you a big hug. Thanks, Nonsensica. I'm starving. How did you know? You're a grown boy. Grown boys gotta eat. I'm gonna sneak out this month. I'm gonna sneak out. Events in this area can be done in any order. They won't cause time to pass, but they will increase your stress. Return home via the Expedition's depot flag or the home button at the top left of the screen. Watch for collectible items. This is how you can get hella items. Your way is blocked by a strange, small creature with 1 foot and 4 large eyes, 2 of which blink sideways on top of its heads, like frog eyes. Oh, this must be a hop-eye. You've heard people talk about them, but you've never seen one up close. When you try to walk past it, it nips painfully at your heels. But when you back off, it just stops and stares at you. What's its deal? Heck yeah, super goal. Hi, Jet. Welcome. You stop trying to get past it, just listen. Oh, you can hear little squeaking noises from nearby. It's probably warning you to stay away from its nest. You carefully avoid the nest while speaking in soothing tones. The agitated little guardian titters warnings at you, but eventually lets you by. You come across a cluster of mush trees. They're not fully grown yet, but they are still pretty big. It might be good to harvest them before they get all gross and mushy during the rainy season. If you were older, you could probably cut them down and get some kudos for them. Give them a friendly pat. You like mush trees. You give one a pat and are surprised when it moves under your hand. It's not the tree, though, but a camouflaged creature lying against the trunk. It's small and looks like a little octopus or starfish. Lots of long legs wrapped around the tree like it's giving it a hug. You spot Dis sitting in a clearing, but not before he sees you first. Instead of sneaking away as usual, he stays still as you approach. Like it's totally natural that he'd be sitting in the middle of the jungle so far away from the colony walls. Now that you think about it, you're a little glad to see him. You are so far away that you can't see the walls anymore. And it's really weird out here, and it's getting late. Dis stares unblinking as you approach. Hi, Nonsensica, is all he says. Your sister's worried about you. Hi, Dis. Why are you out here? I'm gonna tell on you. Hi, you. Hi, Dis. He seems to be in a good mood, something you see very rarely. Did you see Chief Surveyor Utopia out there? Dis asks. She's like X-ray vision eyes or something. She'll catch you for sure if you get too close. She caught me once and I got in big trouble. How about I show you something cool and sneaking out will be our secret, okay? He jumps up and walks a little ways into the trees, so you follow. Just a few minutes away, the ground drops off and a large stone outcropping juts out over a cliff face. Dis walks right to the edge without slowing. It's a long way down. Come on, he says. Bravery challenge. You bravely step out onto the rock and walk out to the edge with Dis. Both sit down, feet dangling over the precipice, and look out at the amazing view. It's incredible. You snap a picture with your hollow palm, but you won't share it on the net. This is your secret, yours and Dis's. You spot a suspiciously irregular mound of spark snow. Maybe something's buried underneath. Could be dangerous, though. Look at what a shtick. You cautiously break off a branch and prod the suspicious mound, watching closely for signs of movement. Nothing. You poke further and discover it is just, in fact, a regular pile of snow, nothing more. The muck hides interesting bugs and other treasure. For those willing to put their hands down the right hole, are you? What do you guys think? Should we peek or should we leave it be? Gotta risk it. Gotta risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Everyone knows that. You gotta risk it for a chocolate biscuit. Ooh. Put your hand up in there. Sweet. Literally, the hole is full of sugar bugs. These palm-sized ball of squish exude a sweet syrup when you tickle them. You fill a bottle with it, then let them go again. Should be worth a few kudos to Antecedent in the kitchens. You leave the path and sneak through a strand of mush trees to the end of the little sawmills dotting the area. It's a small but busy operation. 3 people feeding mush tree logs into some kind of machine, while a 4th one directs a 4-legged robot with a plasma saw mounted on the front. Stay and watch what they're doing. You stay out of sight and watch how they do it. When one tree crashes down, it almost seems like the others are wincing. It's probably just your imagination, though. They aren't planting new ones or leaving any behind. You know the mush trees regrow every year, but can they still regrow when you cut down everything like this? Even the smaller trees and bushes are getting ground up for mulch, with a scary big grinder that sounds like a roaring beast. The entire process makes you uneasy, but also proud of how industrious your colony is. There's something here, something invisible that makes the hairs on your arms stand on end, like an electric aura. As you walk forward, it begins to feel like something nipping at your ankles, but when you look down, there's nothing there. You back away, the sensation stops. You move forward, oh, it's worse. The feeling is like tiny electric bites, and it's growing more intense. Some kind of microscopic gnat? An electric field of some sort? It hurts, but maybe you can find a way to avoid it and get through this area. Perceive it. By trial and error and a little intuition, you find a route through whatever it is. The shock seems strongest near some low-lying fractal palms. You can hear humming from the palms and decide it must be some kind of natural electrical field. Maybe to ward off animals like you. You're too worn out and tired to continue. You have to go home now. You've been having weird dreams, as usual. They seem to get worse around glow. You wake from a dream that is tears drying on your face, though you can't remember why, just that you were terrified. Whatever it was, it felt real enough that for a moment, you just lie in bed with your eyes closed and try to calm your breathing. You blearily rub your eyes and, surprise! Oh, it's your birthday! Your dad leaps under your bed and gives you a big cuddle. Happy birthday, little tomato head! 12 years old, wow, can you believe it? No, your mom answers for you, laughing as she hands you your presents. It was just yesterday, Antecedent was showing me how to change your diaper. Because it's your birthday, your parents have brought in food from the canteen so you can all eat together on your bed. As you stuff your face with savory tofu chunks, you open your presents. Which one is your favorite? +1 to strength cards. A bouquet of exotic flowers. We'll go with this one. I taught the nanoprinter the pattern based off pictures from our expeditions, your dad says, watching him play with it. called it a spectroraptor, he continues. See, it looks like it's wearing glasses on top of its 5 eyes. They said that's because its lenses are outside of its eyeballs. It's not wild, nothing like on Earth. As your dad clears away the wrapping paper and the dishes from breakfast, your mom folds her hands on the table and gives you a serious look. Uh-oh. So, she says, Not yet. We've been here 2 years now, and I know your dad and I have always said you are in charge of your schedule. We've been keeping an eye on you. A loving eye, your dad interjects, stuffing wrapping paper into the recycler pickup bin. A trusting, gentle eye. Professor Hal used to tell us all the time about how hard you're trying in school, your mom continues. That's great. Your dad and I are really proud of you. Working might seem fun and grown up while you're a kid, but if you want to do more than manual labor, you'll need to do some book smarts too. Your dad joins you again, so it's time to start thinking about how you're going to contribute to the colony when you're older. At the look on your face, he laughs. Don't worry, we're not going to make you get a job right now. We're just asking, what do you want to be when you grow up? A farmer like you two. Lead Biology 5. A teacher, a mom with like 10 kids, captain of the sports ball team, a famous idol, a monster hunter, can't do governor. Do I decide right now? We've decided earlier to go with like a farmer biology route. Your mom looks touched, but says, we're actually called agriculturists. Nonsensica. Your dad hums, I prefer cultivator myself. Your mom thwaps him with the back of her hand and he laughs. Well, technically, we're a combination of agronomist and pastoralist, I suppose. Well, your mom starts to get up. I'm sure your friends all want to wish you a happy birthday. She stops and snaps her fingers. Oh, you might not have considered a career as a depot clerk, but Al and Bernie mentioned their daughter Mars is working there and she needs some help. Now that people can freely order luxuries, it's pretty busy there. Sure beats shoveling dirt, your dad laughs. If you don't take that job, you tell Mars I'll be right there. Your mom rolls her eyes and smiles. You tell Tangent you know where Deese has been going. You tell her he's been sneaking out to explore the jungle, not far away, but outside the walls. Tang looks concerned. Really? She says, wringing her hands. Is he safe? I'll keep him safe. She eyes you skeptically. Full offense, Nonsensica, but you're just a kid, she replies. However, I suppose it's good to know he isn't alone out there. Most of the time you're alone up here, except for the occasional passing guard. But sometimes you're joined by Dis. He barely looks up at you as you plop down and kick your feet through the railing and over the edge. He looks like he's doodling on his holopad. You see all sorts of plants and mushrooms, little creatures with too many eyes or too many legs. He has a selection of plant samples at his side, like artist paintbrushes laid out on a towel. He must be quite the junior botanist. He's not drawing plants right now, though. He's actually drawing a person, and not anyone you recognize from the colony. They have long, dark hair and a pointed face, and are covered from neck to toe in floaty black robes. They look neat. You wonder if they're Deese's original character or something, like his super cool goth self-insert. That looks nice. Dis smiles shyly, but doesn't look away from his drawing. Thanks, he mumbles. I'm not very good at drawing him yet. You're not sure what to expect from life sciences class this soon after Professor Hal's death. He was the teacher back on the ship. Who could possibly replace him? You take your seat in the classroom. There's no teacher here yet. You and the other students wait, exchanging awkward glances as time passes. Eventually, Chief Engineer Instance breezes through to the door. She's accompanied by Tange, technically. I know I always say Tang, but it's Tange. Who takes a seat beside you, barely giving you a second look. Life sciences, Instance snaps. Who can tell me what it is? She points at you. Nonsensica. Start us off with the correct answer, please. The what sciences? Bio, chem, medicine, ecology, geology. The study of life? You easily rattle off the subject names. Instance doesn't look pleased, but she doesn't look disappointed either. That's about as good as you ever get from her, honestly, so you count that as a win. Also, I think it's implied if you look at Tange and you look at Instance, do you see how they both have that like one white half of their hair? I believe it's implied that she is her mother. Got a new perk. Unlocked xenobotany research and geoponics. Also, where? Because I can equip stuff. You slip through the colony gates, feeling the breeze from the mushroom forest ruffle your hair. You look around for Dis, but he's nowhere to be seen. Maybe you went to class today? Probably not. As you're about to return to the colony, you hear what sounds like crying coming up from one of the expedition vehicles. You pull back the tarp that keeps it from being blanketed with fungal spores and find Dis curled up in the cabin. He wipes his eyes and turns away. Go away, he mutters. Are you okay? I'm fine, Dis sniffles. Just leave me alone. I need persuasion 10 or greater. Do you want to talk about it? Why don't you go ask my sister? He grumbles. Tange is so mature. She knows everything. I'm just a sensitive little crybaby who doesn't know anything. Dis wraps his arms around his legs and hides his face in his knees. I hate her, he mutters. Everyone thinks she's so smart, but she's just a big meanie. I hate everyone here. I hate being here. I just want to be left alone. He's our little emo baby. Hey, kiddo, your dad says, looking up from his work desk where he's dissecting a huge bell-shaped flower. Can you hand me that separator? I've really got my hands in things in here. You hand him the tool, which he uses to wedge open some sort of weird stoma-like opening inside the bell. Gooey purple nectar oozes out and pools on the desk. Whoa, he exclaims. I thought I drained this little beauty. Can you get a towel, I guess? You help him mop up the flower juice. Yuck. It's sticky and smells like rotting vegetables. When you're done, he looks at you with pride. You know, I've been thinking of getting one of you kids to come help me with researching the native plants, he says. You think you might be able to break off some time to help your old man in the lab? I know you've been studying biology, he adds. It's not as glamorous as gen tech research with Instance, but it's important. He grins. Let me talk to your mom about it tonight before you go telling her. She's not a fan of alien plants, you know. If it were up to her, we'd fill these greenhouses with earth plants and nothing else, but there's got to be more on this planet than we can cultivate. If you find any cool plants while you're exploring, bring them here and we can take a look at them. At plants. Your dad introduces you to the little lab they have set up in one of the greenhouses. It's incredible, he says, gesturing all around him. We're surrounded by alien flora and we know practically nothing about it. What's edible? What's medicine? What can we make fibers with or build with or use in ways we haven't thought of yet? He beams at you. You and me, we're going to find out, my little potato. Your dad directs you to a research bench, and here you'll be working. The bench is buried under samples and beakers and weird-looking alien sprouts. More than just a simple table, the analysis bench is covered with buttons and little holes you could put things into. Don't touch anything. Carefully find the on switch. Stick something in a hole. Press buttons at random. Carefully find the on switch. There is no on switch. Yep, you looked everywhere. Don't touch anything? Go ahead and mess around, your dad encourages. You won't break anything. Okay, fine. Press buttons at random. You mash all the table buttons until, yo, kiddo. It's Congruence, the friendly ship's computer, beams at you from her own holoscreen set into the bench. Of course she's here. She's the guardian of all knowledge in the colony, after all. You wonder where she got yo from. Your dad laughs. Don't tell anyone, but Congruence is the real brains of the operation, he confesses, though it's not like it's a secret. She'll make sure we don't do anything super dangerous, which means you and I get to focus on experimentation. If you follow the rules and stick to what you already know, you won't learn anything new, so don't be afraid to try stuff. Your dad comes back from work one day looking seriously under the weather. He's pale, with deep circles under his eyes, and he keeps sneezing. It's fine, he insists. It's just all the pollen in the air. It's gunking up the old air tubes. You remember hay fever? We always had it back on Earth, too. Your mom frowns and crosses her arms. We did, she agrees, so why isn't it bothering me? You're a lot tougher to be, sweet pea, your dad says, and her mom rolls her eyes. I'm sure I just have to get used to it, like you did, he continues. Maybe I'll go for a stroll outside the gates later. Really get a good lungful of the stuff. I'll feel bad for a few weeks, but after that I'll be fine. Your mom raises both eyebrows. Outside the gates? You? Your dad shrugs, then he falls into a fit of sneezing and can't answer. Your mom directs him to go lie down in their bed. You need rest, not machismo, she scolds him. I don't have achoo, your dad sneezes. A macho bone in my body. Foo-foo. But I have to fertilize the coin of the pixie beads this week. Uh-huh, your mom grunts. Your dad pulls a handkerchief from his pocket and sneezes into it a few times. Big yelling honk sneezes that echo through the whole quarters. He pulls it away from his face, and you can tell that something's wrong. Huh, your dad says weakly, holding the handkerchief away from his face. It's bright fuchsia pink and glittering in the light. That's weird. Then his eyes roll back in his head. His knees buckle, and your mom yells for you to call Instance. Chief Engineer Instance takes your dad's vitals and gives him a cursory look over, but she seems satisfied with what she sees without having to do a thorough examination. The explorers have started calling this the shimmer, she says, shining a light down your dad's throat. He's looking a little better, but not much. It's an airborne environmental toxin, likely in the pollen fog. Will he be okay? It doesn't seem to cause long-term damage to the body, Instance explains. She gestures in the air, making notes on her hollow eye that only she can see. I've been tracking its efforts for 3 seasons now. The toxin is flushed out of the body after 3 to 5 days, and it's not contagious. She looks down at your father. What that means for you, Geranium, since you're particularly susceptible to the toxin, you should be taking better pains to avoid exposure. If you must go outside during the pollen, use a respirator. Your dad smiles weakly. You got it, boss, he says. Your mom smiles and puts her hand over his. As your literal boss, I'm ordering you not to come to work for the rest of the week, she says. You are on strict bed rest. She leans in to touch her forehead to his. They stay like that, smiling with relief. Even after 1 day of bed rest, your dad is looking a lot better. He's clearly anxious to get back into the fields. You're gonna love this new crop, Nonsensica. It's called a pixie bean. They glow in the dark. He's already pulling on his boots. The fields look so beautiful at night. I'm happy that we finally found something we can actually grow here that isn't soy, and more soy. I'm happy too. Your hollow palm pulses with a message from Tange. I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm so sorry. Hello, Nonsensica. If you're not occupied, can I ask for your assistance in the lab? Thank you in advance. Tangent. Dipple Tange, but her asking for help is something so rare that you can't help but head over right away. You find her hunched over a spectrometer, making notes on a hollow screen. Oh, you're here, she says, blinking rapidly. She looks like she's been awake for days. Wrinkled, a little shiny, and with the wild-eyed look of someone who needs a big cup of black tea. Came as soon as I could. I'm researching the shimmer, the respiratory illness some people report during pollen, she says. I'm loath to admit it, but I need your assistance. She takes 4 vials with swabs inside and puts them into your hands. I need recent saliva samples from both you and your father, she says. There must be a reason why he's so susceptible to the shimmer and you're not. You share half of your genetic code with him. There must be some other marker we can compare between the 2 samples. Then, she continues, pulling another vial from a stack of test tubes, administer this to yourselves, wait 3 days, and take the samples again. The test should be able to determine if there's anything in your body chemistry has changed. Tange looks at you very seriously, cutting through her bleary expression. There's something going on here, she whispers. Something really, really big. I begin to realize this is more than just curing a disease. She squeezes your hands so hard it almost hurts. Unlocking the secrets of the shimmer, who it affects and why, it could lead to a greater understanding of all life on Vertumna. And knowledge. Knowledge is more than power, Nonsensica. It's control. Are you okay? You seem unhinged. Okay, I'll do it. Thank you, Tange says. I've been researching so hard, I think my eyes are gonna fall out of my head. And for what? Well, for the end of a debilitating disease is a pretty good reason, but Tan just shakes her head at herself before you can answer. We're at a disadvantage here, she mutters. We're fighting blind. We need to understand this planet if we're going to get it under our control. Tangent stops you on the way to class. Nonsensica, were you headed to life sciences? Good. I could use your help with something, actually. I'm working with Chief Engineer Instance in the biolab. If you give me a hand with it, I'm sure she'll give you credit for the class. Of course I'll help. Honestly, admits Tange, we just need somebody to label Petri dishes and move them from the cooler to different machines. Hop, I could do it. Instance is staring unfocused at her hollow eye as she processes the results of the scans. Tange goes and stands beside her, pulling up the scans on her own hollow palm. They confer quietly while you wait. Sounds like they're studying the shimmer, the mysterious illness some colonists get during pollen every year, including your dad. Instance looks up at you and as if just noticing your existence. Ah, nonsensica, she says. We've been studying examples from some of the colonists who get sick during pollen, including your dad. Some of the stuff in his lungs, it's some kind of fungus. We think the shimmer is a form of reproduction, Tang explains. It's like a fungus trying to turn us into more fungus like it. It's really neat, actually. Yeah, neat. Or like ultra creepifying. You sound like you like the fungus. Yeah, neat. Fuck it. You spend the rest of the week helping them study the illness. Mostly this involves following instructions and doing as Tange loves to repeat, jobs a Hopeye could do. Nothing beats hands-on experience, though. This would be easier if we had an actual sample of the fungus, Instance remarks. They're working with some biological samples, a fancy word for snot, but according to them, the fungus is all mixed in with human cells. Instance has to spend a lot of time in virtual space trying to disconnect the two in her models. Where could I find a sample? Our most useful reports have been from foragers returning from the Valley of Vertigo, she tells you, where the pollen is thick all year. That might be a good place to start. Get to work. There in the clearing, the most majestic creature you've ever seen. It's like a unicorn from your dad's storybooks, but with leathery reptile skin that shines when the light hits it. It moves so softly, like it doesn't even disturb the ground. It could be dangerous, but you want to see what it does. Be as quiet as possible. That's cool. Yeah, they're cool. The art in this is so good. As you settle in to watch it from behind a strand of mush trees, the Unisaur looks up towards you. You start startled by your movement. You try to hold perfectly still and quiet your breathing. After a tense moment, it goes back to its business first. First, it sniffs out a good tree and rubs the scent glands in its neck against it thoroughly. Then it pees, like a crystal waterfall on a rock. Everything it does seems magical. You quietly take a picture with your hollow palm, but you know you can't share it or you'll get caught for sneaking out. Next, it sharpens its horn against a rock, which is scored with marks from having done this before. This must be its favorite sharpening rock. You notice the bulge in its stomach. It must have had a huge meal recently. Eventually, it curls up for a nap. You quietly sneak away. This was so wonderful. Vertumna is a magical place. So this is probably the first instance, since we are now able to sneak out, that we're starting to learn about the animals and realize that they're not openly aggressive. A stream cuts through the path here. There must usually be stepping stones to cross it, but the water's too high to cross safely. Bravely jump over it. You bravely fall in and get wet. You flounder towards the other side, soaked but victorious. Even though I won that. I feel like that's very mood. Ahead of you, the road curves right, and there's a steep hill leading off to the left. You bet there's a really good view from the top of it, but it's going to be a scramble to get up there. Hike up it. You leave your pack in some bushes at the base, so you'll be lighter on your feet, then start the trek. It's tiring and even steeper than it looked from the bottom, but there's some broad mushroom-caped trees providing shade. The view from the top is spectacular. You can see all the way down to the colony walls in one direction and down to a little sawmill in the other. Then you spot it, the rock, the most perfect boulder you've ever seen, teetering right on the edge of the slope you just climbed up. At the top of a rise off to the east, you think you spot someone watching you. They're dressed in black. Is that Dis? Well, they look way too tall to be Dis. Maybe another surveyor? You blink, and the figure is gone. Hike over there and look for clues, or it must have been hike over there and look for clues. You bushwhack down into the valley and up the other path to where you thought you saw them standing. No signs of a camp or anything obvious like a dropped pack. No note saying, "I'm watching you," signed a mysterious figure. Spooky. Instance breezes into the classroom 5 minutes late as usual. She gestures and all of your hollow palms pulse with a new file download. "Pop quiz," she says, sounding bored. "Show me what you've learned about the Earth's ecosystem and why the climate crashed in the late 21st century." You and the other students exchange looks of horror. A pop quiz? 2 people look unfazed. Tange and Cal. Both are sitting near enough that you could possibly ask them for help when the quiz begins. Ooh. Cal. Don't worry about it, Cal says, patting you on the back. "You've got this. It's just a test." That's easy for Cal to say. He works with plants and animals every day. You're not sure if it'll help, but you are encouraged a little bit by the pep talk. Take the biology test. You did well. You just tried to imagine the most destructive things humankind could do to the planet, and that was usually the answer, no matter how far-fetched. Deserts growing, terrible storms, sea level rising, species becoming extinct. Well, scary. Cal and Tange look happy with their scores, too. As you file out of class, you catch up with Tange and share your thoughts about what you've been learning in class. Earth humans had space travel, gen tech. Shouldn't they have been able to fix the planet? Isn't science the solution to everything? Tange scoffs. Not even science can help people who don't believe in it. She says, "Even if the solution is obvious to anyone with half a brain, if the people in charge don't do what needs to be done, what's the point?" She stomps away, clearly frustrated by the subject. It's time for the 3rd annual Vertumna Festival. You gather with your family in the colony square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Uticott approaches the stage. She folds her hands and serenely addresses the crowd. "What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor," she says, looking as pleased as she ever does. "In under 3 years, we've built a colony of which we can truly be proud. While we've suffered hardships and losses, we remain standing, as always, together, looking forward towards the future we are building together. Let us use this midsummer festival as a time to reflect on our many blessings," Uticott continues. "Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and a strong community." Uticott bows her head. "But first, let us remember Professor Halitosis." The motherfucker's name was Halitosis. They named their son Halitosis. Oof. "Who guided our children and kept our engines running for so many years. Chief Engineer Instance will be filling in with help from our ship's AI congruence until someone can take up the mantle that rested so easily on Hal's broad shoulders. We also recognize the passing of our dear friend, Chief Surveyor Melatonin. Known for his gentle nature and his curious spirit, Tonin joins his daughter, Aspartame, and his partner, Lavendula, in the world of our memories. In his place, we welcome our youngest council member ever, Utopia, representing Expeditions." Uticott invites the rest of the council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance. When the applause dies down, the council sits. Utopia remains standing. Actually, Auntie Uticott, y'all mind if I just make a quick announcement?" Uticott nods, and Utopia clears her throat. "I just wanted to say thanks to y'all who are trusting me with this job," she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. A cheer rises from the Expeditions, and she motions for them to quiet down. "Uncle Tonin left some big shoes to fill, and, well, I'm going to give it my best. We're fixing to get to the bottom of what we're calling the Shimmer. The sniffles folks will be getting during pollen, Utopia continues. Until we do, please keep on wearing your masks when the pollen is thick and let the doc know if you're under the weather. She bends down to hug the governor and she leaves the stage. Thank you, Utopia, Udicott says warmly, and thank you to the rest of the council for their service. Live music starts playing and Udicott smiles. And now it's time for games and feasting. The crowd disperses towards the feasting table, clearing the area of chairs so the children's competitions can be held. What will you do this year? How you do the talent show this year? Mars has been studying Deese's technique after being embarrassed by his comedy impressions last year. Her routine this time is more like a celebrity roast, only the celebrity target is Dis, and he's not in on the joke. She levels some truly incinerating disses about his clothes and his mannerisms and his weird hobbies, keeping it just this side of too mean. She's a lot more polished than Dis's stammering impressions, and the judges can't help but smile. When it's Dis's turn, he's so embarrassed that he stumbles through the whole routine, a series of knock-knock jokes that get less funny as time drags on. He ends up running off stage before finishing. Your turn. Sing a folk song from Earth. Thank you for those who watch the ads. Thank you, thank you. It gives me a penny every time you watch. Thank you, thank you. You perform a traditional song. By the time you're finished, people have tears in their eyes. Udicott asks you to record a copy of it for the Hollow Archives. You win, as voted by audience applause. Mars shrugs and shakes your hand. She wasn't really interested in winning anyway. She just wanted to get back at Dis for last year's performance. After the festivities, you take time off for a much-needed, very relaxing break. Your dad sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs and spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun. You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust suns. Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young, and that everyone compromised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves, and Tangent sighs as she goes to put her head in her hands, stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. You okay, Tangent? I'm fine, Tangent replies immediately. I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross in here, she says. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under the workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines. And he comes over here and tells me, it'll be okay, Tange. Like it's his job to console and patronize me. I hate being patronized, too. We both sigh in unison. I hate being young, she says bitterly. Why don't they understand that we have higher expectations for ourselves than they do? I need to learn from my own failures. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she says. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it like I'm a child with a boo-boo. Colony uses some recycled spaceship parts to build new structures, but most new construction is made of mushwood, a fungal lumber harvested from the mushrooms that tower over the forest in wet season. It's strong, tall, and versatile, like bamboo was back on Earth, but the downside of harvesting fungus in wet is that the logs need to be dried out for almost 2 months before they can be used in construction. Maybe if you study the mushwood, you can figure out a way to shorten the drying time. You'll need to get your hand on some, though. 3 pieces. I used one. Oh, no. Some farmland has spilled outside the walls. The fields don't look like they're doing very well. Nobody's around right now. In fact, it looks a bit abandoned. There's some meager-looking crops ready to harvest, but animals are starting to get at them. Salvage. You pull up a handful of wrinkly tubers. They're probably supposed to be potatoes eventually, or maybe yams? It's hard to tell. You dig around a little longer, but it's all pretty picked over. As you come to a bend in the path, movement catches the corner of your eye. There's something on top of the nearby mushroom-capped tree. You can't quite tell what it is, but is that a person? I don't know why I'm saying mushroom so fucking weird. Mushroom. Someone is peering over the edge of the mushroom cap above you. You can't quite see their eyes, but you get an impression of long dark hair and an enormous mocking grin. I wouldn't go that way if I were you, they warn playfully. They have a deep, musical accent you don't recognize. A stranger? That's impossible. You're the only people around for thousands of light years. What the heck is he doing out here? You feel a chill go up your spine. Ignore him and move on. Find another way. You let your mind wander as you're walking and bumble straight into a field of gelatinous blob grass. Totally transparent. The sticky fronds are hard to see, but even harder to ignore, especially once they start glomming onto your boots and slowing you down. It's like trudging through thick mud. You stubbornly decide to keep going, paying close attention to the visible signs of this blob grass field. There aren't many, just an absence of other vegetation. There it is. You can hop along from that rock to that fallen log, then climb over those old pieces of surveying equipment. You can get through the villainous blob grass. You spend a bunch of time on it, though, and it takes some tricky balancing. It's tiring. Oh my god, there's one. Boop, right there. Ha 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 ha. Geoponics engineers have set up a work site here, using the robo-plow to tear up the ground and prep it for farming. You don't want them to see you. They'll send you home for sure. Take a closer look. You creep up and try to learn something about this operation. The robo-plow is making so much noise that you feel comfortable sticking closer. Probably a lot closer than you should. One of the farmers starts walking your way. Make yourself invisible fast. I'm here, welcome! You skulk under the trees at the edge of their operation. The loud grinding of the robo-plow hides any noises you might have made. You're too worn out and tired to continue. You have to go home now. You spent the month exploring. Relax the lounge. You split your time between watching holovids, listening to music, and studying for class. Occasionally someone asks you to run an errand for them. You go on long walks. Overall, you spend the month relaxing and doing whatever you want. You really needed this. Awesome. It would mean a lot to me as you do that as well, to try and gain more people to join the Nonsensicals. It would mean a lot. Hey, Squirt, your mom calls out to you. Don't you think it's gonna be time to start thinking about what you're gonna do when you're older? You look at her in confusion. Isn't she always telling you to stay in school? She chuckles. You got some time to think about it, kid. How about you come join your folks on the farm, if you think you're up for it? I'm ready. Your mom claps you on the back. Oof, she's just as strong as she looks. Great, she says. Come see me in Geoponics when you're ready to start. It'll be more fun than wheeling dirt around, I promise. Get to work. Can I not go do the mush tree thing now? Because if not, that's so depressing. I want to be a farmer and help out my parents. It's a proud day for your mom. You're finally following in her footsteps. She meets you at the gate to the gardens. Hello, Sprout, she says, sounding chipper. Come on, we've got a lot to cover before you're able to keep up with the rest of us. Finally, some real farming. Your mom shows you around the fields of the geoponic domes. You'll mostly be working in the field with the hardier earth crops, like the potatoes and the corn, as well as the native plants we've managed to cultivate. She frowns. We'll figure out how to cultivate these native plants somehow. You spend the rest of the day pulling weeds and watering plants. You're dirty up to your waist by the time you're finished, but it's good, honest work. You're proud to be able to do something that helps out the colony. Cal gives you a high five and invites you for a cool drink in the cafeteria. Speaking of which, mentions of water, guys, make sure that we are hydrating and not dehydrating. I'm going to about to do it myself because, talking so much. Of all the places in the colony you've worked, geoponics is the most like a family. Maybe because they've always been your family, thanks to your mom and dad. Alright guys, it's glow season. New perk, +1 to physical cards. Nice. It's time for your end-of-term project. You, Tange, and Cal are all ready to prove that you're capable scientists. Seeing as everyone works together in the colony, you're expected to come up with a project that the three of you can agree on. You can already tell that's gonna be a problem. Only 7 watching? I know. We should do a genetics experiment, insists Tange. I have access to the lab around the clock, and I'm already in there every day. It'd be so simple just to come up with an experiment for something I'm already working on, and efficient. It's the perfect choice. Cal considers. I don't know. The lab work is only half the picture, you know? I think we should go to geoponics for some hands-on biology. Mimir is almost ready to give birth, and she had trouble during her last calving, he says. You think he's talking about a float cow. We should volunteer to monitor her around the clock and document the process. Then we can help deliver the calf. Tang looks disgusted. Absolutely not. She sneers. I am not getting my hands all up in some float cow's guts just because you want to play farmer instead of scientist. She pokes her finger into Cal's chest. What are your data points? What's your hypothesis? Do you have a control group? Where is the science, Cal? You aren't better than others just because you work indoors, Cal snaps. It's so rare to see someone actually get under his skin. Every day, I live and breathe biology, genetics, medicine, and ecology, just like you. Science isn't just about doing experiments. Observation is important too. So is compassion and empathy. Tange scoffs. They both look at you. What do you want to do for the project? I mean, I had soup. I'm choosing to date Cal in this playthrough, so I'm glad you see things my way, Cal says. He has the look of someone who's trying not to be smug, but isn't quite getting there. Spend a few days observing Mimir, the float cow, who is so huge and gravid that she barely can float at all. You're on watch when she goes into labor. You call Tange and Cal to the barn when Cal gets in there and safely delivers the calf. And you mean he really gets in there because the calf gets stuck at one point and Cal has to go up to his shoulder after that. It's gruesome and scary, but in the end, both cow and calf are alive. Holy shit, you guys, 8 for that fucking card. After another week of veterinarian care and close study, you write up your report. Instance looks it over with disinterest, but even she can't find anything at fault with it. This'll do, she says. Congratulations, you pass. Get to work. 2 data points form a line, but 3 is a pattern. The colony has been on high alert all glow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a 3rd year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different. They say, and new tracks that must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. I did not read that right. An 8. I know, right? You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. You're in class when the sirens start to ring. The other kids fall to an alert hush. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe here, but it wasn't so safe here last year for Professor Hal. What if another creature gets in? Congruence, the new teacher, is just a face on a computer screen. She can't protect anyone. Congruence flickers cheerfully. Please stay calm, children, she says. The defense squad is already en route to the creatures. This should all be over soon. You've been told this before. As the sirens continued, you're faced with a choice. That's good. That's good, you two. You stayed up and leave. Tange and Mara stare at you like you've had 3 heads. Congruence doesn't try to stop you. Not that she could. She doesn't have any hands. You slow to a walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear the metallic popping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts? Your blood goes cold. Monsters. They're here. You follow the sounds to a workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats of the vent. You gasp. 2 glistening, bug-like ears peer down at you. No, 4. 6? They blink in syncopated pairs. Then you hear it. Over the sirens, a soft pinging noise, halfway between a chirp and a purr. The creature skitters spider-like from one side of the vent to the other. A small furry tentacle slithers through the slats, searching for the vent release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal. I'm going to try and tame it. You win it over by reading its body language and slowly building trust. It seems to want to join you, and you think, hope, you'll be allowed to keep it. I've got Ricky. You look the species up on your hollow palm and learn that Ricky, so named for the trills they make, which yours is making now, cuddling against your leg, are neither male nor female, though they do require a mate to reproduce, so it's a they then. You decide to name them. Bright eyes. Their eyes are kind of bright, and there are a lot of them. It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short pulses as the all-clear message flashes on your hollow palm. You and the other children file out of engineering, and you head back to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. You manage to smuggle your new pet Ricky under your jacket and hide it under your bed before they arrive. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps to a seat at the small table. It's like they're going specifically for geoponics this time, she mutters. But your dad pets your hair and shushes her. I'm sure it's just bad luck, Flulubel, he says. But your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out the porthole window at the fields. All right, my loves. Childhood is fleeting. The game will end when you reach age 20. That has been the 3rd year of I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. The game is really cute. I'm a big fan of it. So if you guys liked it, let me know. Thank you so much, my loves. I will see you all very soon.